Hello, Miss Howard's Mathematicians. Today we're looking at how do we divide unit fractions by whole numbers. Let's start out with a problem that looks very familiar to us. Our problem says Meg has 3 friends she wants to share brownies with. She has 1 pan of brownies and she wants to share them equally. How many pans of brownies will each friend get? Okay, we know that Meg has 3 friends and 1 pan of brownies. So we're going to let this right here represent our 1 pan of brownies. Now she wants to split those brownies up between her 3 friends, not including Meg, just her 3 friends. For this case, it's saying just her 3 friends. So I'd split my brownies into 3 equal pieces. So 1 friend gets this third, 1 friend gets this third, and 1 friend gets this third. So how many pans of brownies will each friend get? Each friend gets 1/3 of the pan of brownies. Okay, so that one is pretty straightforward to the point. You have friends, you have a brownie you want to split. You want to split the brownie between your friends, you end up getting a fraction. Each friend gets a fraction of the pan of the brownies. Let's look at a problem that is very similar. We still have Meg. Meg has 3 friends she wants to share brownies with. But now she only has 1/2 of a pan of brownies. So she wants to take 1/2 of her pan of brownies and she wants to divide it between her 3 friends. So 1/2 divided by 3. Now I want us to freeze for a minute. Think if you have a candy bar and you only have half of that candy bar and you want to share half of that candy bar with your 3 friends. You ate the whole other half, but you want to share the other half among your 3 friends. Is your fraction going to be greater than half or less than a half? If you said less than 1/2, you are correct, because we are splitting up 1/2 into 3 smaller pieces. So let's go ahead and jump right in. We only have 1/2 of our brownies. 1/2 of our brownies, so I colored it in blue. Now I need to take the 1/2 of the brownie and I need to split it into 3 equal parts. 3 equal parts. 1, 2. So now we have this in 3 equal parts. We still have our original whole, which is a whole pan of brownies. Now in here we each have our 3 equal parts. Now let's go ahead and split the rest of our pan of brownies into 3 equal parts. So now our whole is our whole pan of brownies. Now let's look and see what we have. 1/2 divided by 3 equals 1/2 divided by 3. So I had 1/2, my blue right here. 1/2 divided into 3 equal parts. We end up with 1/6. Because look, this right here is 1/6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 1/2 divided by 3 is 1/6. Let's look at another one. Very similar problem. Meg still has her 3 friends she wants to share brownies with. She only has 1/3 a pan of brownies. Okay, let's start by setting that up. Let's do our 1/3 a pan of brownies. Whoops, I want to change the color. 1/3 a pan of brownies would be this much. 1/3 a pan. Because remember, this whole thing right here is the entire pan. But we only have 1/3 of that pan. So what we're doing is we're taking 1/3 and we are dividing it into 3. Now, 1/3, I need to divide it up into 3. We have our 1/3 laid out. Now let's divide it up into 3. I'm going to go this way. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3 thirds. So, what would my new denominator be? What did I split all these into? Let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. My denominator is going to be ninths. And my numerator is 1. So 1/9 is my answer. So how many pans of brownies will each friend get? Each friend will get 1/9 of the 1/3 pan of brownies. Okay, let's look at another example. Our question says, our problem says 1/2 divided by 3. 1/2 of something, you're dividing it into 3. Okay, let's start with our bar model. Draw your bar model to represent your whole. Okay, here's our bar model. We have that. Represent your fraction on the bar model. Our fraction is 1/2. Shade in my 1/2. Okay, that's how much I have. I have 1/2 of it. Then it says subdivide each of your fraction pieces into your whole number. So I'm going to change colors. This is my whole number. I need to subdivide each of these into thirds. Okay, then how much is one of these worth? This is worth 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1/6. So 1/2 divided by 3 equals 1/6. Does that make sense? Isn't 1/6? 1/6 is less than 1/2. Yeah, that's a good way to check and to think about it. Okay, let's look at this problem. 1/3 divided by 2. So the very first thing I need to do is I need to have my whole. And here I have my whole. I drew my bar model. There's my whole. Now I need to split it up into my fraction. Fraction. And this is thirds. And I know with thirds I need 3 equal pieces. And one of those 3 is shaded. There's our 1/3. That's our 1/3. Now we're dividing this 1/3. Whoa, stay right there. Whoa. Now we're dividing our 1/3 into 2 equal pieces. Split 1/3 into half, 1/3 into 2 equal pieces, 1/3 into 2 equal pieces. How many equal pieces do I have? 6. How many is one of them? 1/6. 1/3 divided by 2 equals 1/6. 1/3 divided by 2 equals 1/6. Okay, let's look at another problem. If I have 1/5 of something and I want to divide it into 2 groups. So think if I have 1/5 of a cup of sweet tea and I want to split that between myself and my mom, that's splitting it between 2. So 1/5 divided by 2. Let's start with our whole. I drew my whole. Now I need to represent 1/5. So I'm going to need 5 equal pieces. 1/5, 1/5, 1/5, 1/5, 1/5. So 1/5 of this is right here. I need to split each of my 1/5s into 2. Split here, split here, split here, split here, split here. So what's my fraction of my whole that I have left? I end up with 10 equal pieces, and when I'm looking at one of those, it's a 1/10. 1/5 divided by 2 equals 1/10. Now, I want to tell you something that I've noticed. I've noticed when I take a unit fraction, that means a fraction that has a 1 in the numerator, and I divide it by a whole number, I always get a unit fraction as my answer. So that's also a good way to check. Let's look at another one. Our problem says 1/4 divided by 3. If I have 1/4 of a cookie, and I'm going to divide that between 3 people, I'm going to get a fraction that is smaller than 1/4. Okay, so let's start. I have my whole right here. I need to go ahead and represent 1/4. 4 equal pieces and shade 1. There's my 1/4. Now I need to split each of my 1/4 for the whole thing into 3 pieces. So let's see here. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. So I end up with a denominator of 12, and 1 shaded is 1. 1/12 is my answer. Is 1/12 less than 1/4? It sure is. Think if you have a pizza and you're splitting that pizza into 12ths, or if you're splitting that pizza into 4ths. If I'm eating the pizza, I am going to want this one because I'm going to get a bigger piece of the pizza.